Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about quantifiers for nouns. So I have a chart up here that's basically taken from the Trouble Spots book with a little variation of my own. We have singular count nouns, plural count nouns, and non-count nouns. Non-count nouns are also called uncountable nouns. These include things you cannot count. You can't say 1 water, 2 waters, 3 waters, so it is non-count. You can have 1 glass of water or 1 pot of water, but you need to have some container for it. You can't just use it as a countable item. These include things found in nature like air and water, oxygen, dirt. They include concepts, ideas, advice, happiness, health. They include a lot of food categories, lots of any drinks, any liquids, but there's lots of foods also. Meat is a non-count. Fruit is a non-count. It includes sports also, things like soccer, swimming. And it includes games you can play like chess, checkers, things like that. We don't count. So there's quite a few items, and you can find a more complete list online. But when you are determining which word to use to describe an amount of something, it's important to know, are you talking about singular or plural? Are you talking about something that is count or non-count? If it is 1 count noun, something that you can say 1, like 1 table, 1 window, you can use each, every, another. So each window, every student, another table. I often see problems with another being used for plurals. This is just the article and the word other. So just like and is only used for 1, this is just singular. Plural count nouns, you can use word several. It's an unspecific, but several, maybe 3, 4, 5. A number of. It's used to signify that there's more than just 1 or 2. Many, a few, very few, or just few, and fewer. Now you might be wondering, why do I have a few and then again, few or very few? There is a difference between having the article or no article, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Then the non-count nouns, again, water, honesty, things like that. A great deal of, a small amount of, a large amount of, much, a little, little or very little. Same thing as with few. Less, the comparative, just like fewer. This includes words that can be used for both plural count nouns and non-count nouns. A lot, some, any, all, no, none, other. I've got a little red star next to much and any. That's because much and any are almost always used with negatives or questions. They are not generally used in affirmative statements. So remember to use those 2 only for negatives or questions. All right, let's take a look over here. I've got some nouns up here. Let's see if we can identify what type of noun it is and what kind of quantifier then we can use. So coffee, what is that going to be? Singular count, plural count, or non-count? Hopefully you're thinking right away, non-count. It's a liquid. So we could say a great deal of coffee, a large amount of coffee, a little coffee, less coffee. Remember, if we're using much, it's with negatives or questions. So there isn't much coffee. Or, is there very much coffee? I told you I would explain the difference between these two. I have two sentences here. There's a little coffee in the pot. There's a little coffee in the pot. The difference is if you have a before little or few, it emphasizes the existence of something. It focuses on the positive. It is explaining, yes, there is coffee in the pot. If there's no article, that is emphasizing how little. It's emphasizing the negative. The idea that there is not much. So, for example, if I say, I'd like some coffee. Do you have any coffee? Is there coffee in the pot? And somebody looks and they say, there's a little coffee in the pot. There's a little coffee that tells me, okay, there's coffee. I can get some. Maybe not much, but I can get some. Or if somebody says, oh, we need to tell the staff to fill this up. There's little coffee in the pot. There's not very much. Okay, so they're used for different purposes. Air. Again, non-count noun. So you would use these or these to talk about a lot of air, no air, a little air. Cars. If you see an S, that should tell you immediately it is a plural count noun. 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars. So with cars, we can use all of these. Several cars, a number of cars, many cars, a few cars, few cars, fewer cars, a lot. When you're using it with a noun, you would want to have of, a lot of cars, some cars. Are there any cars? Question. There aren't any cars, negative. All cars, no cars. None is used often just by itself. Are there any cars? No, there are none. And other cars. Honesty. Yes, it is a non-count noun again. Honesty is like happiness, health, it's a concept. So honesty could use all of these. Homework. This is also non-count. I'm focusing on a lot of non-counts here. Homework. You can't say I have 1 homework tonight or 2 homeworks. Homework is the general category. If you want to specify how many pieces you have to use a different word. That word would be assignment. I have 1 assignment, 2 assignments. This is true for many, many non-count nouns in English, that you have a different word for specific pieces. Luggage is a non-count noun, but you can say 1 suitcase, 2 suitcases, or 1 bag, 2 bags. Money, non-count, but 1 bill, 2 bills, 1 coin, 2 coins, $1, $2. But the word money is non-count. You can't say 1 money, 2 monies. Okay, let's look at these sentences here and take a minute to decide what you might put in this sentence. Okay, so this is a negative verb. What do you think? We haven't had rain for the last few years. Well, there's not only one possibility, there's a number of possibilities. Rain, non-count. So we haven't had a great deal of rain for the last few years. That would be a good possibility. We haven't had a large amount of rain. That would be good. We haven't had much rain. That's probably the most common. So let me put that here. We don't want to say we haven't had little rain. That's like having a double negative in English, which we don't like to do. We haven't had a lot of rain. That's okay. We haven't had some rain. We wouldn't usually use that. If you wanted to use the negative, you would use any. But this means no rain. If you say we haven't had any rain. Actually, that's not true here in California, so I'm not going to include that. These do not work for the meaning of it. Okay, but this winter, we're finally getting, can you use much like here? No, you can't. It's not a question, it's not a negative. So you can't say we're finally getting much rain. Doesn't work. If you want the idea of much, you need to say a great deal of or a lot of. So that would be saying large amount. Otherwise, you could use some. We're finally getting some rain. That's probably the most common for this one, I would say. But again, other possibilities, a great deal of rain, a large amount of rain, a lot of rain, some rain. Okay, so these are the quantifiers that you want to keep in mind and to practice with your nouns.